2024. My name is Ali, and I am delighted to be your MC for today. I am also the Customer Success Manager of EON Realty based in Singapore. It's a pleasure meeting all of you. To start off today's event, it is our pleasure to introduce Mr. Dan Legiska, the Chairman of EON Realty. He will lead our keynote session titled Revolutionizing Education and Workforce Development with Spatial Intelligence. In this session, Mr. Dan will delve deeper into EON Realty's vision for transforming learning experiences through AI and XR technologies, showcase successful collaborative projects, and discuss the impact on students worldwide, followed by a Q&A session. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Mr. Dan to the stage. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. So I had a pleasure to be here the 3rd of May. It was not long ago. It feels like a rerun of that, but I'm very excited about today because of multiple reasons. One is that we announced an extended partnership with IT and ITS. And secondly is because we have a new release that was just coming out today, which will be the first one to experience. I know we have a great audience in 3 different time zones, so this recording will be shared first here in Singapore time zone and then later on in Europe and tonight in North America. So for the people that are joining us online, we'll try to do our best so you can also experience what we have to share. Now, I tried during this presentation to be very concrete, and I'll try to tackle 3 questions. One is the big problem, a big change that we all experience. And I hope I can receive your acknowledgement, alignment that we have this problem. We'll talk about that. And we also try to discuss and identify how this problem is aimed to be solved, not by my idea only, but I'll try to share what leaders, global leaders, think that the adequate solution for this problem is. And thirdly, now once we have a solution, rather than just theorize, I would like to demonstrate the concrete solution in front of your eyes. So you'll be the first on earth to see some very new things that I hope you agree is a way towards the solution, which by the way is a moving target. And last but not least, once we have this solution, I'd like to share how other countries have implemented the solution. Singapore is obviously one of them. Today you're going to see hands-on this during the walk-around session. And finally, then the most important question, what's in it for you? How will this benefit you as an organization? So it's a tall order to try to address all these things. So let's get the show on the road and get started with this. Now this picture symbolizes Renaissance, right? I think we are looking at, I'm always trying to look at the positive side because there's a lot of doomsayers, right? I think this empowerment of AI will provide us with powers that will go beyond our human constraints and will unleash a new level of creativity. That's what I hope. And I hope this is the backside of the coin, right? A reset where our life is gone as we know it. I hope this is not a reality. And I don't think it's totally written in stone. It's up to us to make one or the other. Now, one thing that we cannot dispute is the fact that things are accelerating. The software we all use today with this ChatGPT, which I think is amazing, according to the CEO, he has this opinion about it.
ChatGPT is not phenomenal. Like ChatGPT is like mildly embarrassing at best. GPT-4 is the dumbest model any of you will ever have to use again by a lot. But you know, it's like important to ship early and often, and we believe in iterative deployment.
Yes, if you saw the Microsoft announcement, last week was a lot of announcement. Google, Microsoft, everybody announced. And Microsoft used a whale as a metaphor for what's coming. And we are today somewhere around the shark. So it's a big difference between a shark and a whale. Now, if what we have today is so impressive, imagine what happens when we get a whale. Now, there's good news and there's bad news. Let's talk a little bit about the bad news first. There's a famous VC that now works in China, Kai Fu Lee. I'm sure you're familiar with him. He did a very bold prediction 2017 and he said 50% of all the jobs will be displaced by 2027. And everybody thought he was crazy. Now he claims that this is uncannily accurate. And most people would agree with that. IMF, a lady that I had the pleasure to meet, Kristalina, she's from Bulgaria, she predicts that 60% of all jobs will be displaced in the coming years, right? Now, those figures are immense, right? It is not small. So, what's going to happen? Nobody really knows, but it is logical to predict that a lot of jobs will disappear. And as these jobs disappear, new jobs will appear. But this transition, there will be a transition period. And this transition period can be very steep, like in the blue line, or can be mild, like in this picture. Now, which one it is depends on us, depends on measures we take in order to complete this transitional journey. And I think, simply put, we need to retrain people from today, jobs that are dissipating, to the new jobs that, unfortunately, we sometimes don't even know what they will be. So how do you prepare for something that you don't know? Obviously, you have to have a method, and this method needs to be flexible, needs to be cost efficient, and needs to be very fast to implement. Okay? So that's kind of the logical approach. Now, the next logical question is, who can do this? Now, we can look at academic institution, and please keep in mind, I'm ITS, and IT is an exception. There's many exceptions to this rule, but generally speaking, educational systems are by design slow. Last time we had a full house here early this month, and I asked, of you here, how many have updated your courses the last 6 months? Please raise a hand. No one raised a hand. How many have done it the last year? Nobody raised a hand. Second year, third year. I think by the third year, we had a few hands. Now imagine that if 60% of the jobs are displaced in the next 3 years, and people update it every 3 years, we are dead. We are dead on the water, right? So we need to do something else. Online companies, Coursera, Udemy, Khan Academy, etc., Duolingo, they do things, right? But they're not the experts. Khan Academy is perhaps the number one in doing things, but if you look really under the hood, it is a GPT basically solution with very few added value. We need to do something different. Now, of course, they're the big ones, the Magnificent Seven. Now, we know what they are busy with, whether it's OpenAI, Anthropic, Microsoft, Meta, Google. They are busy to fight this $1 trillion war. And out of these 30 systems, 3 will emerge, maybe 2 as the winners. So they care about the basic technology. While EON is together with some other companies are focusing on using this technology above it with chatbots, with autonomous agents, and eventually with what we do. So our little company, believe it or not, and we see today, has developed the world's first autonomous artificial intelligence agent that can address some of these issues. Okay, so now maybe take a step back and ask ourselves, what will this new way of education look like? And rather than me answering the question, I will have 2 what I consider experts or people that I have a lot of respect for answer the question. The first one is, and I'll come to that in a second, what is it we want with this solution? We want to bring about knowledge, right? And it is the most valuable thing we have. It's more valuable than oil, it's more valuable than money. And what's the best way to acquire this knowledge? Experience, right? This is whether we learn how to bicycle or fly aircrafts. Now, if you want to learn aircrafts, what's the best way to acquire that? Simulators, right? The problem with simulators are what? Too expensive. We can't afford to have simulators for everything, right? Like plumbing or nursing. So the cost is a problem. We know what the best solution is, but the cost has been a problem. So what's the solution to the cost problem? And I think I'll go through that today. You're going to experience it firsthand. But before we go to the solution, I just want to put this in context. And I have two 60-second videos. One comes from the former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt. And the second one comes with an AI pioneer, Fei-Fei Li, Stanford professor, and I call her the grandmother of AI. She discovered the image recognition algorithms very early on. So let's listen in.
Is imagine a textbook in any field that's nothing but synthetically generated images based on where you need to go. So rather than reading and listening, you study a picture. And then you study another picture, and you use the three-dimensional aspects, everything, motion, everything, the gamification, everything you describe. Intuitively, that learning process would be more engaging than what you and I went through. So when you start thinking about the power of imagery for learning, somebody who gets this is going to build a system which is like a different learning paradigm that really, really works. But in our lifetimes, we should set a goal of having every single person in the world having the access to an AI doctor and an AI teacher. This would bring everyone up. Right? Everyone in the world has health problems and educational problems. Why can't we solve them all now?
And I think the answer is yes, we can. Now, the other people that follow EON, we know that we have coined a name called spatial AI. And I remember when I came up with this about 5 years ago, everybody was looking at me, what the heck are you talking about? And there was like this obscure, very niche thing. And then, as you know, Vision Pro came out a year ago and they coined spatial computing. And I felt a little bit like, now, okay, they spent 20 billions behind it. So I'm probably not totally out bicycling, right? It's not totally wrong. And I was very excited when I saw this speech a couple of weeks ago from someone that I have a tremendous respect for. Let's listen in.
Seeing is for doing and learning. In 3D space and time, we learn to see and do better. And if we want to advance AI beyond its current capabilities, we want more than AI that can see and talk. We want AI that can do. And with 3D worlds, real or virtual, augmented reality guiding surgeons to do safer, faster, and less invasive operations. The computers and robots powered by spatial intelligence will not only be useful tools, but also trusted partners to enhance and augment our productivity and humanity and lifting our collective prosperity.
I really like what you said. I wrote a book and I coined a phrase called Human 2.0, H2O, 2017. And the idea is that computers will help us grow beyond our current human constraints. And that's what's happening. And for doing that, computers need to see. Computers need to be among us. And you'll see in a few seconds the solution that we came up with. So EON has been working on this for better part of 25 years, right? We started with simulators for aircraft for $50 million back in the days. And now these have progressed and run on what you see today. We're going to demo everything on a phone. Because I thought 7 billion people have phones, right? My next stop is Bangalore and Chennai, and they have phones, everybody. And then I'll go to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. They have phones. Johannesburg has phone, and I think my trip will eventually end up in Bogota. So phones have reduced the cost, but it's not only phones. The solution works with tablets, it works with everything. So that took half of the cost. But the other part of the cost is the content creation. And that's something that's still very, very complicated. And today I'm going to show you a path of how we tackle this. First, you need to have a big library. We do have the world's largest library with 36 million assets, but then someone has to create those courses. And of course, a human needs to validate those courses eventually. So we're going to talk about that, and I'll show you a few examples around this in a second. What you see there, by the way, is our solution in Thailand. I don't know if our Thailand delegation came, but this is a mayor that's implemented this in all schools around Thailand. Okay, so the solution is an autonomous agent. Now, most of you are familiar with Chat GPT, where you talk with it. An autonomous agent is actually doing things for us. And we'll see how that will work. Now, we try to do to succeed with this new learning method, it's not enough to have some very exciting, sexy demos in virtual reality, which most universities, academic institutions have already. It's a matter of how do we transform the entire educational organization-wide solution. So until 2018, we had 3 days to develop the code-based solution to create one experience. 2019, 3 hours, 2022, 30 minutes. Human interaction, 2024, no human interaction. Now, let me be clear. Still, we need a human in the loop to validate, to make sure it's right, maybe to add things. So eventually, before we publish. So human is not going away, but the boring stuff, the things that takes enormous amount of time, that's where AI can be a great companion. Now, to do this, we have 5 pillars at EON. One is we have this very efficient way to learn, train, perform. We know using this technology, students learn faster, retain information longer, make better decisions. Second is this autonomous agent, which you'll see in a second. Third is to create a lot of knowledge repositories, which we've done. And then the fourth is to actually make it available. We have 42 million users today, and this number of users are increasing day by day. And of course, most of the knowledge is not generated by us. It's generated by AI together with humans in various corners of the world. And of course, this translates in a number of relations that we have done over the years. So I'll start with a very basic example of the first autonomous agents we did. This in January, and then I'll take you through the process of how this has evolved in the last few months. So the idea is I get courses, and these courses are on paper, and you can see a number of paper courses. In this case is 450 courses in something to do with oil and gas. They are paper-based. I import that PDF into EON, and I start converting this using AI autonomous agents to experiential immersive learning. And what you see here is the outcome of that. You can see that it took about 4 minutes. And if I stop the video for a second, you can see that gas lift equipment was done at 508.54, furnace operation at 508.52, fundamentals of fluids 508.49. So seconds for creating each course. So, okay, so that speaks to speed and quantity. What about quality? So this, keep in mind, this was our first attempt. So let's go into the first course there, oil field electricity, and we're gonna look at it. And everything you're gonna see here is generated by AI. The avatar, the 3D, the knowledge portals, the videos, the certification, assessment, everything.
This is an experience about oil field electricity, electrified equipment. The procedure of oil field electricity.
So what's happening here is that he's going to walk us through a lecture around this, which is including here a 3D model of the generator, which was prepared, a full 3D environment that I can walk through, 3D assessment that you can see here, everything, and all that is generated by AI. Okay, so that was the first baby step. Then we said, okay, let's take it one notch high up. How about generating the 3D environment, the metaverse, in automatically also? How about generating everything around it? And this was about when I was two months ago. So we did a test with Stanford University. I said we want to do a biology lab, engineering workshop, robotics, and we just came up with those titles. We put it in the system, and out came this. I'm not going to play you the whole video, but it gives you some highlights where we were a couple of months ago.
Welcome to the Digital Stanford Legacy. I'm Cardinal, your guide. Discover engineering in VR labs, humanities with AI tools, and business and medicine through simulations.
So you can see the courses likewise were created very fast.
Is used to measure and assess the dimensions, thickness, or performance of a particular component or system.
But the difference now is that in addition to the 3D, the 360 environment, 3D is built around it also. And just to have some fun, we also did a song around it using EON AI music, because sometimes it has to be fun. This has very little limited value for education, but
with EON lights, learning a world that's bright, creating world.
yeah, so you can see that under the hood, there's a lot of things happening. Now, of course, the first thing that our partner said is, that's great, Dan, but can you do it in 82 languages? That was the first. So let's have a look. This is new. Bruce, you haven't seen this. This is called EON Express. Let's have a look. Swedish was Vietnamese. 82 different languages at the moment. Russian. This is an AI report I generated on the fly. As you see, Chinese, Japanese, Korean.
Nắm vững lý thuyết cơ bản, thiết kế hệ thống, kiểm soát và điều khiển，或喷气发动机基础知识，燃烧式设计过程 le piston, la bougie d'allumage, system, and thrust reverser. Students are taught how these components work together to generate thrust and propel an aircraft.
Okay, so that was that. So we've taken that to the next level. So today we're going to see something interesting. We're going to switch to a demo, and there will be a short version of the demo here, and that I will do. And the first thing I did this morning was I was thinking about how can I best demonstrate this to you? So I did three things. I did a Tibet lesson for Philippines, because we have the ISD here. So those are 10 different lessons, from future-ready skills to sustainable agriculture to hospitality management. There's a big tourism industry, etc. So that's one option. Then I said, okay, that's great, but which are the lessons? Give me lessons about things that will be disruptive in education. So then it gave me introduction to AI machine learning, AI ethics, building AI-powered homes. And then I said, okay, that's great, but give me more flavor on each one of those. And you can see here that now it's developed. So you have a pick. What would you like to see? You can come up with any other ideas. Anyone? So how about we combine a little bit from Philippines and a little bit from the future? Is that okay? Okay, let's get going. So I'm going to take the Philippines lesson. I'm going to add these ones and then we're going to create those lessons on the fly. So this should go. This is the most difficult part of this process. So we'll go here to lessons in Philippines. I'm adding those to this. And I'm going to put the microphone on for a second to do it fast. Okay, so let's do that. And let's take half of each. I've cut those. Magic, I actually cut it to half precisely. And now I will call this lesson for the Philippines. Okay, so let's say that, and I say AI and Philippines because it's AI 2024. Okay, so I'll delete that. So this is what we call AI ready. The alternative to this is to use what we call train AI when you have already existing courses that you want to create. Okay. So, but for now, I'll use this. And then we go to EON, and we're going to go to let's see, library, create, course catalog. We're going to insert something, and we see here TV lessons for AI in Philippines. That's the one we just created at 10:36, less than 40 seconds ago, and we start uploading. So what's happening now is the lessons are created. I have a lot of choices. I have choices about the language. I have choices if this is hard skills or soft skill. This is totally new. We didn't have that choice even 3 weeks ago. I have choices. Which of them will be ready, complete, or light? This is the table I can choose from. So what is light? Light means that preparation excludes activities and models. It's a very quick way to develop. Complete means that everything is done by AI while I have a coffee. So we'll take 3 of those. Let's take 2 of those here and 1 here, smart homes. And then I can select hard skills, which means or soft skills. Soft skills is when I want to learn emotional intelligence. Let's see which one will be soft skills or soft skills.
AI for business.
AI for business. Which one is
The
it?
last one.
The last one. Okay,
Last
so
last one.
says AI driven data science. Yeah.
Last one.
Okay, there you go. There we go. So let's do complete and let's do soft skills. Okay. So now with that, let's continue. And now it goes to work. Okay. And it takes not a long time. Now, at this point, some of you in the audience would say, yes, Dan, this is fantastic. But, I have my 46 page of mechatronics and it follows a certain way. It has to follow that way. We can't do it in another way. And I have good news for you also. So what's happening now, you can see here that this is also new, that we can see what's in progress. And you can see that more or less all the courses that I put as hard skills are in progress. Soft, let's say, all the ones that I selected that are complete are in progress. The ones that are AI ready light, I have to create in front of me. So while this is cooking, let's go to my workspace. And let's go to AI ready. And here we're going to see a combination of AI ready light and AI ready complete. If I turn off AI ready, there you can see the ones that we have now. Tibet AI ready for Philippines. Those were just done seconds ago. And if I put AI ready light, then I will see the ones that were created also a few seconds ago. So let's do one looking inside what happens, just to understand how this works. So pick one. Which one would you like of the 3 we have here? Data science, generative AI, smart cities. Water. Really smart cities. Okay. There you go. So this will be built in front of our eyes. And then meanwhile, the cookies are in the oven and we get all the courses also created. So here we'll basically have to select things.
Choose an AI persona to share.
So I will select an avatar.
Hi, I will answer your questions tailored for university students.
And I'm in a 3D environment. And we can see here the smart cities generated for us. We will see the knowledge portals that are generated for us. And all I have to do is very simple here. I just click next and next, and it's generating a lot of stuff for us. And this will be including 3D geometries around it. It actually generated a city as we speak. And we can also generate an indoor environment.
Building smart cities involves integrating sustainable infrastructure for energy efficiency, waste management,
listen to the whole thing. We say continue. We will say cancel because we don't have.
Here are some additional activities you can do. Add more objects, assessments, and annotations. Try out some quizzes or chat with the AI to explore the subject further.
And we'll publish this now public. We can also put it on the marketplace. And these funds will, from selling this course, will come to Philippines. So we just need to get the bank account. We just send the funds. Okay, so that course was created. Before we go and experience that lesson, let's now see what's happening on my phone, because everything we generated has now propagated to my phone. And intentionally, I used the phone. I could have used a headset, I could use glasses, but we all know that we have phones in our pockets, right? Let's see if I have here, just close everything else. And I'm gonna go into augmented reality in a second. And a couple of things, if everything works well, we should have a combination of AI ready light and AI ready complete. And we're gonna do three things. One, we're gonna actually add something to this course. Two, we're gonna assess how well students perform in these courses, right? So let's have a look. And you can see smart buildings. You can see that was created a minute ago on the top there. Building smart homes 2 minutes ago. AI for business needed 3 minutes ago. Renewable energy sources 3 minutes ago, and so on. Future ready skills. So you can see it produced a lot of stuff. So let's pick one of those. I'll pick renewable energy, if you don't mind, 2 minutes ago. And we will do, we'll have three choices. Pen, which means edit. Let's do edit. The other one is to start the experience. The third one is to invite a lot of colleagues from different islands in Philippines, etc. So now here we are. We can move to this. And
You're in edit mode for renewable energy technologies, solar and wind inst.
you can see here that it's
I'm
selected
your
3D
AI
models.
guide. You can ask me anything.
I'm in some type of environment. And by the way, the 3D environment here, this is the first version. It's done and improved in 2 weeks, even further. You can see here that everything is generated on the fly. The metaverse experience is generated on the fly. And let's say I want to add wind power. And now I want to add from our 36 million assets specific simulator-based solution for wind power. And let's see which one I like. I like this one. It's a very simple one. I'll put it there. So now it's loading. And now I want to see how it works. And now I want to switch to this. And then I want to switch to this. And now I'm happy. I save this. So you notice that, and I publish it. Let's see here. I need to select. Okay. I'll actually just publish like this. And now I'm gonna expose a student for it and see how well she is doing on this specific course. So here we go again. Now,
Hello. This is an experience about renewable energy technologies, solar and wind inst.
so she's here in this space, and I'm
Next, I
moving
will
through this
explain
space.
to you about solar panel installation.
And I can obviously switch the environment, as you can see there. I can also end the instructions and go straight to,
Next, I will explain to you about inverter.
okay, so let's go straight to grid connection and get an assessment.
Start Jeopardy challenge. This legal document outlines the terms and conditions for connecting a renewable energy source to the grid.
I don't know. Let's see. Anyone? Anyone else? Interconnected agreement. Okay, I didn't know that.
This is the location where a renewable energy source.
Reconnected point. But here I can go through this and get
Arrangement
my entire. Okay. So you can see that it went pretty fast, right? And I can drill down your rabbit hole deeper and deeper and deeper because it's a tree. So you can start with energy and then you can ramify this to a level almost that you go to whatever level of fidelity that you need. And keep in mind that every move I make, every step I take, the AI is watching me. You can see that it's noticed that I spent 57 seconds and I was a complete failure. And it was succeeding to do anything. Okay, so that gives you a very quick glance and what the capabilities here. Now, keep in mind, this is the worst version of EON you'll ever see. So that sounds, because what you saw there is 5% of what EON does. I didn't show you even not one of the 10 products. We have a bunch of products. Some of them are more sophisticated, like the one that we did for
IT Spatial AI curriculum. Demonstration of spatial AI learning using customer specific.
So there we use customer specific data So we have actually a file that ITS provided us, and this contains a whole material. It's the one that I was talking about uploading. Let's have a look. So you can see here begin training. So we train it on specific data, and then we convert that data from that to this environment, right? With a full simulator. Another thing that you'll see we didn't talk about is soft skills. The soft skills, it's hospitality services, how to
Perform specific tasks or scenarios related.
If you can contribute to our company.
With my experience in conflict resolution, I can contribute to your company by fostering a positive work environment.
And based on that, we also have the ability to see assessment and how well you do on these things. Okay, so hard skills, soft skills, this is very important. And you'll see today at ITE that it's not only about doing things online, it's about blending learning, having the capability to actually interact in a physical environment combined with a virtual environment. You'll see both of those. In interest of your time, I'll skip a lot of those. We have about 24 different agents. We have agents for education. We have agents for enterprise. We have agents for consumer applications. And we have also a marketplace that can help you with this. So the evolution that you saw was starting with simple knowledge portals, going to the metaverse, going to what I call AI Ready Express, where you have multilingual, going to an environment where you actually have interactions. And this is what we are releasing this coming month. So things like this, auto-generated, and go into a companion, okay? And now to do all this, we are actually about 2 steps ahead of the AI, the big companies. We actually rely on them coming up with technology. So already 2 years ago, we were doing things in, for example, in factory environments where we bring things to life, or we were creating large systems for example, oil and gas, or we were implanting this in aircrafts where you are able to get guidance and assistance what to do if something unforeseen happens. The problem was that we couldn't do it automatically. We had to do it manually because the computer didn't see. But guess what? Last week, the computer now sees properly. I mean, when I see, I don't mean Google Lens, where it recognizes one thing and it takes forever. I mean this.
Okay, let's do some tests. Tell me when you see something that makes sound.
I see a speaker, which makes sound.
What is that part of the speaker called?
That is the tweeter. It produces high-frequency sounds.
Give me a creative alliteration about these.
Creative crayons color cheerfully, and decryption functions. It seems to...
Sorry. What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London. It is known for its railway station and transportation connections.
And now,
do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
Does anyone remember Google Glass? 10 years later, this is Google Glass. Now it has a purpose.
What can I add here to make this system faster?
Adding a cache between the server and database could improve speed.
What does this remind you of?
Schrodinger's cat.
Let's finish.
All right, give me a band name for this duo.
Golden Stripes.
Nice.
Okay, so I think this convinced you that the underlying technology can see. Okay, so far so good. This is Google Project Astra. Was just released last week, and we are working with them. Now, there is a competing product called OpenAI GPT-4 Vision. O stands for Omni. Now, most people are happy at this stage. The computer can see, I can talk with it, it's wonderful. But that's where EON starts. Because once the computer can see, and we have an avatar that sees everything, knows you, and can generate from 36 million assets and embody and manifest any piece of equipment, anything you want. Not only can the avatar show you and tell you, but he can guide you, assist you, can have a digital twin side by side at any moment. This is a revolution. This is huge, not only for education, but for enterprise. In fact, it's so huge that we are launching next month a new product, and I hope we can develop this product over the years with EDB. We have a big meeting tomorrow. And from a company perspective, it's obviously very important. But there's another thing that I want you to pay attention to. Virtual reality, augmented reality glasses and headsets have been always this technology that is just around the corner. Next generation will be fantastic. And it always is a road paved with failures. Let's be blunt. I'm from Sweden, so I like to call a spade a spade. Everybody that tried this failed. 2017, big failures among all the large corporations. Meta even changed their name to this. They didn't succeed, right? And to be honest, there's many reasons. One of them that it's not easy to do this technology. We saw that Vision Pro. But I think there's an even more important answer. It's why, the purpose. Now, the purpose becomes very evident when I show you that use case, right? And in fact, the big Magnificent Seven, because it takes billions of dollars to develop those devices, are not late to the game. Google just announced reviving AR glasses. Apple Vision Pro just announced that they are coming out with glasses. MetaQuest are installing AI now in their devices. Ray-Ban with Meta are released glasses. So something that I've been waiting for 20 years is now finally coming. So instead, in the next 24 months, instead of me holding the phone, I will have my glasses. So that's where this is going. Now, I was talking about the new products. I switched colors to white just to distinctly kind of symbolize that. So I see Spatial IQ. This is the new product that we are releasing, where everything is generated by AI. So everything I showed you today for learning is actually generated on the fly for knowledge. So we think that this will provide real results for enterprise because it becomes a platform for leveraging spatial intelligence for operation, for training, for decision making. And this will be very useful for our key markets like manufacturing, healthcare, aerospace, energy, security, etc. This is a way to prepare for this new coming future. And what sets us apart is not only the instant understanding of the environment, but the ability to have avatars and immersive simulation that are generated with you on the fly. Okay? So we think this is a bigger evolution, and EON has been working for 25 years with companies like Boeing, Airbus, many Exxon, etc. Now, the other revolution is, and I know Bruce knows this, my dream is to reach 1 billion people. We have 42 million today, and that's a tall order, 1 billion people, at least before I retire. And how do you get there? Of course, today we have a business-to-business model. So we work predominantly with education institutions, and that's fine. Enterprise will get us far, but never the numbers. You basically need a consumer product. And you need something so simple that it can do anything. So I call it EON Polymath. And that's the second product that I hope I can call made in Singapore. We want to do it with EDB. We want to do it here, potentially. But what's this product? It's one platform that you can learn anything and everything. Okay? So instead of today going to Duolingo to learn language, Code Academy to learn code, Coursera to learn something different, you have one centralized solution for everything. And the target audience is everyone from 10 years old learning about dinosaurs to seniors that need to master new Chinese recipes. Okay, that's the idea. And to make it very smooth, and to do that, we, instead of being chased of AI is chasing us. What I mean by that, you saw the example. 2 years ago, we developed a vision, but we had to do it by hand because AI was not strong enough. So our vision is running 2-3 years ahead of reality. And then as soon as it comes out in weeks, we can adopt it. Now, this means, among other things, that we have to tailor things, which we don't have today. So will be question, we'll ask you, or would you allow me to check your emails for knowledge purpose? And then we know who you are, what you do, what level of competence, or you can answer a few questions. Gamification, path, design, which is much more, let's say, user-friendly. So for example, I give you a concrete example, coding. Let's say I want to learn coding and Python, and I don't know anything about it. So it will structure for me intro in Python, Python 2 for data types, Python 3 for loops, Python 3 for objects, and it will also give me daily tasks, which I have to perform based on that path. It will also give me bonuses, games. So this becomes a little bit like Duolingo, okay? With this, we think it's a new opportunity. Okay, so with that, I know I'm trying to keep the time. What's the value? In the end, we have to deliver value. So this is an old slide that most of you that have been with EON have seen, but I can play it for 30 seconds.
We have conducted a study on virtual reality learning. We found learners in VR required less time to learn. They had higher emotional connection to the content, higher confidence, and were less distracted during the training.
So there's consensus on that, whether you ask Stanford, MIT, or PwC and KPMG, that this is a better way to learn. And the proof is in the pudding, because we've been doing this for a better part of 20 years in the United States, in everywhere from South Africa to Honduras, right? And what we're seeing is that this not only transforms education, but enhances the quality, allows you to develop your own IP, and attracts more students. So there's plenty of references for this. I'm interested in the time, I'm not going to go through them. But what we are very excited, for example, in the field of medical, we just signed another $2.2 million contract with Children's Hospital. This is for patient care and helping patients, in this case children, to go through the experience with less anxiety. Everything from that to teaching on very advanced things. This is something we've done historically also for EON, learning about anatomy or even eye procedures. So we have a lot of references in these areas, obviously, over the years. And I'm very pleased to share that by going together with IT has had 2,900 visitors, right? From heads of states. Amazing. I mean, you beat us by horse length. And I think today you have Saudi Arabia and Rwanda's ministers just this afternoon. So by working together, we can reach the world. So I'm so excited about that. More important, not just the combined efforts, but I'm also very excited about the pedagogical aspects that you bring to the table. Because we, let's face it, are techies. But together, we have something that's truly 1 + 1 = 10. And the vehicle to do that is what you're going to see today. The first, which is the Spatial AI Center. This was the picture from this month, earlier this month, with a bunch of visitors. The way we see the center, we need to deliver the bolts. Our part would be to make sure that you get the platform. Like, for example, I'm signing a contract for $50 million, which is pretty big for a small company like us, in Johannesburg next week. And there we have 230,000 users. So what do they get? They get the platform for everything. They get the infrastructure. What does that mean? So we have teamed up with Amazon Web Service for the cloud. We also can work with Microsoft, obviously. They get the platform that works with all the devices, right? From Microsoft to Meta to anything, Google's. They get 10,000 tailor-made courses. And that's where I hope ITES, especially with your expertise, will bring those lessons to make them as meaningful and relevant as possible based on your long experience. So those are the 3 deliverables. There are also side effects. We do have an academy that generates jobs in this area. We have an innovation hub. We are bringing grants for some developing countries. We have a marketplace, etc. And the center embodies those activities. And I'll be very concrete. So after this, in the break, we'll go to the user experience. And I'm not going to talk about it. You're going to see this showcase how the technology works in practical way, not only on a phone, but on many different devices. Obviously, we will bring a lot of people. So a little precursor today, it's kind of experts. We have physically very few people. This will change the 15th of August, where we have at least, I think you're inviting 80 people from ADB, Asia Development Bank. Yes, and we have confirmed for that already quite a lot of people. So you are precursor, you get the precursor here. So this was what happened May 3rd. And of course, we have a lot of interns, so that also are joining us. So let's listen in from around the world. EON has about 500 of them now.
My internship at EON Reality has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my entire academic journey.
The global internship program isn't just about gaining work experience, I'd say. It's about fostering a personal and professional development in a very supportive and dynamic environment.
Interning with EON has opened up so many doors for my career. And
so different departments that sort of molded me into who I am right now.
I believe that this internship allowed me to gain hands-on experience that could not be replicated in a traditional classroom setting.
In EON Realities, we provide innovation for education. Thank you so much and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, so it's fun because over the last 3 years, we have 500 going through this program, and we employed, I think, 10% or 15% of those. And what's also fun is that we are becoming younger. I'm the oldest person at EON, just a disclaimer, 61. Our average age is now creeping under 30. So it's a thing for the youth, right? We want the youth to be part of this positive future. And one thing that I would share with you, you will see a lot of this in a few seconds. I'm not going to talk about that. But one thing that happened last Friday, which you will see today, we're going to do a visit to the Precision Lab. And I think this is I like concrete examples of how the future of learning will be. What do I mean by that? So first of all, this is how this is how IT is doing it. It's a smart manufacturing hub, yes. So the idea on the left side that you have a digital twin. So before you even touch the physical equipment, you actually experience this at home on your phone. You experience this in that room. You get certified, for example, for laser cutting. You need to do that. I'll show you the next video. And after you do that, you can actually interact with the physical equipment. And I was asking, why is this so important for you? And let's listen to what they said.
So without that, you're not authorized to touch the become a problem for us. We have the machine.
Okay.
But now we can't get the student to touch it. So hence, young yes, to the rescue. Right. So there's quite a fair.
Okay, you couldn't hear what I said, so I will repeat. So it's a bit of a frustration. IT has the machines, they have the teachers that can teach this, but legally they cannot touch the laser equipment. So they have to find other ways to certify the students before they can touch. And they were kind enough to say that EON was a lifesaver in this case, that we actually helped them to do that before. And that's the reality that I see. I see this reality because I asked Bruce how much money you invested in your facilities, and I think you mentioned totally 2 billion. And that's a lot of money, right? Most places in Ethiopia will never have ability. And many countries that you come from, Vietnam and Philippines, maybe also would struggle to invest such amount of money. So I think the future is very simple. We don't need 20 engines, right? We need one, because an engine is $42 million, right? But the other engines will be virtual. So I think this blended learning between certain things are physical, but most of the things are virtual. That allows my favorite word that Bruce coined, and I borrowed, it's called scale, right? We need to scale. And I see this across the world. So Bruce was kind enough to take me to India, and we are building a center there. This is in Odisha, and you can see we just took a picture there. I had a similar speech there, but there were a lot of Indian colleagues. And you can see this is the facility. And it's about 700, 800 square meters, pretty big. And what you see here is the bottom floor where our center is. And then there's 19 floors in total. And each floor has different technologies. So here it's hands-on stuff that you can do. But for each of them, now we're inserting also screens. So we'll be able to do pre-training using this type of technology as EON has. And we'll be able to have it during the training to certify, and of course, after. There's also a problem talking about scales. I think we can train about 1,000 students there at the time, but they have 170,000 students, and most of them are in remote areas. So what's the vision? This becomes as a Disneyland for Tibet. People come from all parts of India, go to this center, experience it, go floor by floor, get the curriculum, and on the way out, they download the applications on their phone, their tablets, their PCs, and we can scale. So that's the practical aspects that for me, as an engineer, are so intriguing. And we're doing the same thing in South Africa. This picture was taken 3 weeks ago. With Mercita, we rolled out 57,000 students, and they were so pleased with the outcome 2 years ago. So now we're getting this order for 230,000. And this is the Minister of Higher Education 2 years ago during the COVID, and now the expansion. We are breaking new ground in Vietnam. We have Vietnam here. I was so honored to, these pictures were taken this month, 2 weeks ago, with EON Vietnam, and we can see Mr. Son that's here today. And he had lined up.
Trọng tâm trong quá trình công nghiệp hóa, hiện đại hóa đất nước, và đặc biệt là trong lĩnh vực giáo dục và đào tạo. Việc chuyển đổi số trong giáo dục không.
I don't speak Vietnamese, but it was a very intriguing discussion, and I was so thrilled. EON started with a project already 5 years ago, UNICEF for kids, but now we are growing this to something much larger. And I think Singapore can play a tremendous role in this context, because you have gone in the last 15 years from this journey, from a country that I visited 1983, that was very much a developing country, to what you became today. And I think to share that knowledge is something very important. I know Bruce is burning for that, and that's why I'm so excited. We also are hosting a Romanian delegation. We had the former Prime Minister here on the 3rd of May, and they got $8 billion from the European Union that they have to spend on digitalization. And they are considering now a large contract with us. We already done a number of contracts, but with IT to partner. This was also taken not long ago. This is in Kuwait, where we work with the government. We roll this out to an Arab Open University with 50,000 students. So it's just the beginning of the journey, but there are 194 countries. And my goal, together with Bruce and a few other good Singaporean, our team here, is to help as much as we can in the coming months and years. And in some countries, like, for example, Ethiopia, where I'll be soon, what we're doing there, we're also bringing help. We can listen to it.
وجامعة محمد السادس المساعدة التقنيات وجامعة محمد الخامس في الرباط ووزارة الصناعة والاستثمار والتجارة والاقتصاد
So
الرقمي.
this was Morocco, where we brought almost $20 million from USAID to help out. And that's why we are so excited about Asia Development Bank that can also help out in countries in need. So my conclusion is simple. We believe knowledge is a human right. We want to make knowledge available, accessible, and affordable for everybody on the planet. That's the cure for everything, whether it's Mars exploration, peace in Ukraine and Palestine, finding cure for cancer, or prolonging our lives. We need this knowledge, and we need it to be evenly distributed. Now, I did promise one, this is my last slide, that what's in it for you? So when I make this presentation, I can see 3 camps. A vast majority in academia are looking at me like the enemy number one. Because they think, because you can think about the world in 2 ways. One is come from a perspective of scarcity, It's a small cake and we have to share it. Or abundance. And I happen to think about abundance, right? I happen to think that we have so many problems to solve. And if I take education, rather than doing the unnecessary things that we are spending time on today, we can elevate ourselves. And I think someone at AT used a good term, and I don't want to steal it from you, is what was the term? You remember? Redesign the work, I think was something like that. So it's about redesigning what we do. And I think we have to do high level things, right?
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the tours at the Experience Hub and also at the Manufacturing Smart Hub. And here comes our next session, which is the Innovation Spotlight. Please welcome Emmy Lo Delphi, Director, Bureau of Industry Development, Department of Information and Communications Technology, Philippines, who will present empowering learners in the digital age, insights from EON Realty Philippines. She will share case studies and success stories from implementing AI and XR solution in the Philippine education system. Let us all give a warm welcome to Emmy Lo Delphi.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Is it good afternoon? Good noon. Okay. First of all, I'm very excited to be here. I'd like to first to thank Dan, Bruce, and of course Miss Mylene and Jed for inviting us here. But I have to tell a story first. I know I'm not part of the original program. So I had to ask Miss Mylene that for me to be able to be approved by my secretary or my minister to come over because we're so busy right now back in the Philippines. So I said, Ms. Mylene, maybe we can ask Dan that I should be part of the program so that my secretary will be able to approve my travel authority here. So that's actually the original, that's the request. So, and then I was like, oh, I'm part of the program now. But anyway, so first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Emily Versosa Delphine. I head the ICT Industry Development Bureau of the Ministry or Department of Information and Communications Technology in the Philippines. So one of the major mandates of the ICT is, aside of course from digital infrastructure, cybersecurity, data privacy, upskilling, reskilling, and bringing the ICT opportunities to the countryside, one major mandate is ICT industry development. So that's my role in the ICT because one of the missions of the ICT is to ensure the growth and development of the ICT industry. So ICT industry includes BPO, we're number one in terms of contact center in the world. So health information management, software development, animation, game development, and global in-house centers. Those are the sectors that I actually handle in terms of providing advocacy all over the country, bringing those ICT jobs outside of Metro Manila. And I also like to take this opportunity because another major mandate of the ICT is upskilling and reskilling. That's why we work closely with TESDA, that's the TVET agency in the Philippines, and I'm happy to also introduce my counterpart, Director Jemai here. He's here. So he's the one taking care of our upskilling, reskilling in the country in terms of ICT. So in fact, he came from the TESDA, and then I know he's been with us for the past 3 months, right, Director Jemai? So, and we're very excited because at least he's very much aware of the TVET-related initiatives and how we can actually bring those to the country. So I have 16 slides here. I think I do not want to bore you with the slides. Basically, these are just telling you how are we in terms of infrastructure, in terms of our national broadband program, our free Wi-Fi for the different municipalities in the region, data privacy. I don't want to go through all of those. However, what I would really, and the reason why we're here today is really that how we can actually bring this. And thank you so much, Bruce and everyone, really for showing that earlier. We really want to bring that to the country, to the Philippines, through EON, through Pelta of Mas Maydin. So right now, so we're also part of my role also is really advocating Web3 emerging technologies. That's why together with private sector partner, we've been going around the Philippines advocating about AI. In fact, another partner, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, we have our national AI framework as well. And it's been ongoing. Of course, definitely one of the major initiatives also is actually setting up an AI center through our Ministry of Trade and Industry. But in terms of policy, it's the ministry, our ministry, that's taking care of policy formulation and plans in terms of emerging technologies that includes AI, AR, XR, VR, Internet of Things. So that's what we're doing in the country. Just very quickly. So yeah, so this is our infrastructure. So we have 6 major telcos in the country. This one is our national broadband program. In fact, we have just launched our national fiber backbone in Luzon. And yeah, so we have this cable landing stations, tower build, and satellite overlay. And we're also proud to say that in terms of e-government, which is a major mandate of the ICT, is making the government agencies, the local government units, in terms of asking them, encouraging them to embrace digital transformation. So we're happy to say that we have the eGov super app. In fact, if you're traveling to the Philippines, instead of going, so you have to apply for your travel pass. You just have to go to the eGov super app, and then you can just actually click, then have your travel pass there. Okay, so and we're number 6 in terms of global crypto adoption. In fact, we've been working closely with our Blockchain Association of the Philippines. There are a lot of blockchain companies in the Philippines in terms of not just about crypto, but really using blockchain and different government services as well. And so we also have to ensure, of course, the safety and security, we have our National Cybersecurity Plan 2023 to 2028. And this one is about, of course, data privacy. We have an attached agency that takes care of our data privacy and protection. And so this is the initiative of particular my bureau. We call it the SETPH program. So that's stimulating the growth of emerging technologies in the Philippines. So as you can see, these are the different initiatives that we've been doing for the past 3-4 years already. So in fact, so one of the initiatives that we've been doing is, so you can see their tech trends. It's a self-development program. And we have selected the different sectors here, including blockchain, artificial intelligence, cloud computing. So it's an ongoing thing as well, in partnership with the private sector. And these are also the different initiatives of other government agencies. As I mentioned, we have the National Artificial Intelligence Roadmap, together with our department or Ministry of Science and Technology, in terms of other emerging tech initiatives as well. Yeah, Smart City with our Ministry of Science and Technology. And also one major initiative of the ICT is really encouraging Filipinos to become digital startups or tech startups. So we have been providing support to them in terms of acceleration program, grant fund, etc. So in terms of bringing those ICT opportunities to the countryside, because we want to decongest Metro Manila. I'm not sure if some of you have been in Manila, you know, traffic is everywhere in Manila. So we want to bring those outside of Metro Manila. So we want to develop countryside. That's why we're implementing the Digital Cities program. And in fact, right now, there are 40 plus cities outside of Metro Manila that are hosting particularly BPO companies. I think this is my last slide. I have not included here one major initiative that we have through, of course, the model of Singapore, the skills framework. Last May 7, we have launched our Philippine skills framework for AI and analytics, and that is actually driven by the industry. And thanks to Singapore, because there's an MOU that happened between the Philippines and Singapore in terms really of upskilling, reskilling our Filipinos. So it should be implemented already by TESDA, our Department of Education, Basic Education, Higher Education, and major universities and private sector to really follow that framework in terms of job roles, skills, so that of course we should be really our Filipinos should be relevant in terms of having those jobs, particularly this emerging technologies. And we're here really because we want, as mentioned by Adan, that critical is global collaboration. In fact, we also want to work closely, hopefully collaboration with Vietnam, in fact, and Korea, and that are here. And thank you, Dan, really for this opportunity, Ms. Maylene. So we have to sit down with our minister, with our secretary. Initially, we said that it's so difficult because, particularly in the Philippine government, we lack budget. But with the help of, as mentioned, international funding institutions like ADB or USAID, we can work with them and even encourage private sector because that's really digital transformation is also the priority of our president, President Bongbong Marcos. So with that, thank you so much for your time and really thank you for bringing us here.
First of all, thank you so much for joining us, and I had a pleasure to meet you in your settings in Manila with a huge audience there, and I was very impressed then. I was very happy that you actually wanted to speak. So one question I have, if you don't mind, is it's all about execution in the end, right? And I do agree, there are always challenges, financial challenges, otherwise. But what I would like to take the opportunity to encourage between now and the 15th, when we have the big event, is to start practically working. And my mindset is that if there's a will, there's a way. Things do materialize almost mysteriously once you start working on stuff. Because money, in my humble experience, has never been a problem. What it is that you either talk to the wrong people or you don't have enough good ideas. If you have good ideas, then things happen. And I think really, I hope, if anything, today was a good day from the aspect of really convincing you the IT's capabilities and what the ITS can do. And I think that experience, along with your vision, perhaps with a little bit of our technology, will happen. And to be honest, money are looking for people like you. People that have that, that's the way it is, that's the way, but we have to make it happen. And sometimes, and I look at myself now, am I little me to think I can change things or make things happen? In your case, you have the power of the nations behind. So that was not a question yet, but based on what you heard today, a little bit your thoughts of how do you see the next 3 to 5 years from your position, and what would be the things that would be the top 3 things that in your agenda, irrespective of what we're talking here with EON, but I'm very curious, what do you think these top 3 things would be for your success, and what keeps you up at night?
Okay. That's a hard question. It's a universe question then. And I've been in the government for more than 25 years already. At the time when ICT was a special concern, I was there. I've seen the industry grew from 0 jobs. Right now, there are 1.5 million jobs in terms of BPO industry in the country. In fact, it's the second largest contributor to the Philippine economy. And for those 20 years that I've seen the growth of the industry, if there's one challenge that I have seen is really the talent. While we have 110 million population in the country, we produce 500,000 graduates every year. However, 2 or 3 out of 10 are actually relevant and are ready to be hired by the industry. So if there are top 3 things that right now I will say is we need to reskill our Filipino talents. That's one. And that should not just be the role of the DICT, together with our agencies like TESDA, with Department of Education, Higher Education. And in fact, it's fine because recently we have passed the competitive workers law, which actually directs all the agencies to work together to make sure that our Filipino talents are relevant, and particularly in this digital revolution. So that's one. Second, I think we have already improved our infrastructure, but that's also a basic, requirement infrastructure. And then third, it's really, I would say, it's the active collaboration of all the players. So it's like whole of nation approach, not only whole of government approach, meaning the private sector, the academe, so the triple helix formula, government, industry, and the private sector that should really work together. And I know that has been the formula of Singapore for the longest time and the other countries here. So that's my answer to your question.
And the last one?
What's the last one?
What keeps you up at night?
Oh, right now, my advocacy really is countryside development. Yeah, so I go around the country to really capacitate through the Digital Cities program. To capacitate, to work to encourage those three sectors that I mentioned to work together, for them to be able to develop their ICT ecosystem and their locations. That's my major role in the DICT. So I go around the country, really formalizing these three sectors to work together and for them to be able to come up with their plans in the next 3 to 5 years. That's why part of the things that we do is helping them craft their own ICT roadmaps for their localities. But right now, I'm so busy because June is National ICT Month of the country. And I'm the one on top of the preparations. And then when I go back on Monday, on June 3, it's a big event. We're inviting 600 people from all over the country. And I'm on top of that. So for the past few nights, I've been restless and sleepless because of that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Delphine. Also, thank you, Dan, for your inspiring insights. All right, so next, we have a featured speaker, all right, session titled Agile and Resilient Event Ecosystem for a Future-Ready Workforce. Mr. Bruce Poe, CEO of ITs. He will share his experience in leading educational innovations in Singapore and discuss the future of education and skills development. So please allow me to welcome Mr. Bruce Poe to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ali. I think maybe it's maybe a right time to segue into what the previous speaker has been saying, that skills education is important to make sure that your manpower is kept up to date to what the industry actually wants. Now, the difference between general education and skill education is enormous. In general education, things don't move as fast. You teach mathematics, after 10 years, it's the same mathematics. Maybe there's some small changes. In language, similar. Maybe in science, slight changes, but still not very much. But in skills education, if you are going to follow what the industry wants, you have to keep pace with the changes of industries. And there's a saying that goes, the only thing that is constant in the industry is change. But even that notion is up for debate. I would say that change is any more constant because the speed of change is now accelerating. So even change is no more constant. It's the acceleration now that we are talking about. That is why I think TVET education, and I titled my talk on Agile and Resilient TVET Ecosystem for future ready workforce. Because the future, the industry is moving so fast, it's accelerating. how do you keep pace with your TVET ecosystem? And I will provide some insights from a Singaporean perspective. In Singapore, we recognize that in terms of training, you have to take care of the economy, the jobs, and the skills. And these are the key driving forces impacting TVET. Firstly, the economy. Economic restructuring and economic disruption is inevitable. And with the advent of AI, it is going to speed up tremendously and accelerating very fast. And in Singapore, we have what we call the industry transformation maps. And we use the industry transformation map, particularly the digitalization in all the different sectors, to map out what is the country's strategy to come up with the industry transformation in the economy. And of course, digitalization plays a big part in that. And talking about jobs, that's where our Ministry of Manpower is very concerned about disappearing jobs because of automation, because of AI. And the possibility of hybrid jobs is no more, something that is, people thought about, is here to stay. Hybrid jobs requiring different skill sets for same worker. And maybe, one worker need maybe more than 2 skill sets, 3 skill sets, 4 skill sets. And of course, with disappearing jobs, we also have newly created jobs in new and emerging sectors. With the advent of AI, I think I always say is that, don't be afraid of AI taking away your jobs. Be afraid of people who knows AI that will take away your jobs. So I think AI is definitely here to stay, and it's going to cause a lot of disruption in the jobs. And of course, in the skills area, in particular, the higher level skills, and we want to move our skills level higher and higher with the advent of more knowledge and more emerging technologies are coming to the market. You need multidisciplinary skills, and you need to adapt to change very fast. And last but not least, we used to say you front load your education, you complete your either certificate, diploma, or degree, and then you have learned for life and you can stay on the job forever. It's no more the case. In a person's lifespan, conservatively, I think you will have to change 7 times, 7 jobs. And some people say even there's a possibility of a certain person, one person taking in several jobs at the same time. So there's a possibility. That's where lifelong learning comes into effect. What you front load in your education is not sufficient. It's just sufficient, even if it's done well, to bring you to the workplace. And while you're in the workplace, you need to continually learn, do lifelong learning. And of course, Singapore is placing a lot of emphasis on lifelong learning now. Next, but how do you get all the government ministries to work together? In Singapore, what we call the whole of government approach to Singapore's TVET planning. And we talk about the future economy, the future jobs, and the future skills. The Ministry of Trade and Industry, including Economic Development Board, will come up with the economic transformation, attracting the type of industries that we want. And we have 23 industry transformation maps to map out the transformation of the industry itself. And the Ministry of Manpower under the Workforce Singapore will talk about the workforce. How do you continue to make sure your workforce is relevant? The Workforce Agency or Workforce Singapore is responsible for that. And the last but not least, the Ministry of Education, and under that you have the Skills Future Singapore. We come up with the skills Singapore Skills Framework 24, where I think Philippines adopted that. And then we have 2 applied universities, 5 polytechnics, and 1 ITE to do skills education. So these gives you the broad parameter, and we have what we call a National Manpower Council that meets to discuss what's our manpower needs for the nation in the next year, next 3 years, next 5 years. And then you can dovetail that to how many graduates you produce in each particular sectors. And then the institution will go down to the sectors, what are the programs that we produce. So there's a net, and then it goes down dovetail to the institution that produce or come out with the programs and the curriculum. This is the governance structure of ITE, where you can see that this one is the our education structure, where everybody goes for 6 years of primary education, and then 4 or 5 years, of secondary education, and then they can choose whether very academic, very academic program at the junior colleges, or applied program like the polytechnics, 3 years diploma program, or in IT, it's very hands-on technical skills, where we have a 2 years program. This is our educational structures. And in ITE, we have this governance structure where our board of governors, the chairman is from industry, and we have a tripartite board consisting of government ministries and agencies, industries, and even the unions. And of course, we have, I just found out over here, we have what we call academic advisory committees, where we have 7 of these, where these are particular sectors that we invite them so that they can come up with advisory on the type of curriculum that is needed by industry. I'll come to this later, but this essentially is what we call a system and 3 colleges, and the principals are in the 3 colleges. A lot of people ask, how do you keep your, program current in tandem with industries? I think you need to work with industry, but that one particular phrase is very simplistic. We have 5 levels of engagement with the industry, and this is what I tell them, that you need to engage the industry for these 5 levels. Firstly, you need to engage them at the board level. The board itself comprises the chairman, which is from industry, and majority of the members are from industries. So at the policy level, you have inputs from the industries. And when you come down to the more sectoral and industrial level, I mentioned to you, we have 7 academic advisory committees. They provide inputs to changes in industries and the trends, technology trends in particular. And we also review the syllabuses and recommend market relevant programs for academic councils to approve. But that's not enough, because you need to come to the curriculum level. At the curriculum level, you need to design the curriculum to make sure that all the competencies as needed in the industries are included. And we have this panel of experienced IT specialists for each particular course that we are going to launch. And I developed the skills profile for an occupation based on the analysis of specific job competencies and tasks, and established skill standards that are validated by our AACs. And that is still not enough. You need to make sure that your course delivery is done in a very authentic environment. And we have shown to you 2 of such authentic learning environment in ITE, the Smart Manufacturing Hub and the User Experience Hub. But we also have, opportunities for our students to go for internship, either 3 to 6 months. And we have something like 5,000 employers who are in our partnership to provide such an internship. And we have 500, employers co-designing and co-developing over 40, I think now it's more than 40, IT work-study diploma at an apprenticeship model. This is after their 2 years training. And of course, we have over 200 MOU partnership for such authentic learning. Many of the labs, if you have time to visit. That is not enough. You need to make sure that your faculties, your lecturers, are themselves attuned to what the industries are doing. If that fails, everything fails. So in ITE, we have the system where we recruit, the lecturers from the industries. Typically, 5 years, experience or more. But even that is not enough, because if they are working with you for 5 years, if you don't do anything, they'll be obsoleted. And certain areas they'll be obsoleted even faster, like 3 years in IT areas, ICT areas. So what do we do? So we have what we call, a technology development center, where we strengthen the staff capabilities by taking projects on companies, real life projects, and we make sure the company pay for the projects. Then they are serious, because while doing this, the staff that are rotated to do the projects in the TDCs will be updated in the latest, of what the industry needs. Of course, we also have other programs where we engage them, sending them overseas for state-of-the-art technology in various areas. And we also attach them to companies locally to keep them up to date of what industries are doing. And on top of that, we have what we call industry feedback. At the end of the day, is what the industry feel your graduates are good enough for that. So we have what we call a employers satisfaction survey, tri-annually. Tri-annually, but like once every 3 years. And we also provide the graduates employment survey annually, and triennial 5-year survey after graduation, and a triennial 10-year survey after graduation. This provides input to our curriculum design and review, and give you useful inputs. And if areas where, let's say, for example, graduates draw very low salary, employment rate is very low, it's a signal to you that this course need to be more for. You need to introduce new courses. This is not needed by the industry. So there are sort of these are signals that you can draw conclusions and plan your next program of courses. So I've mentioned active industry participation in IT curriculum design and delivery, and you can see there's a lot of pictures here, many MOU signings, and we are going to sign MOU with EON today. This is to keep ourselves updated with the latest of what industries can offer. So we have extensive engagement with trade association, industries and employers. I talk about the 7 academic advisory committees. These are national surveys where industry players come to contribute, to IT, and we have 5,000 employers who are co-training partners. So treat them as partners in offering internship and workplace learning for students. Another 500 companies that work with us with what we call work-study diploma programs or apprenticeship programs, and close to 200, probably now it's more than 200, MOU or letter of cooperation partnership for authentic learning, industry and technology update, and transfer and capability development. I talk about doing projects for companies. So what are some of these projects? I give you a flavor of some of these projects. Include some of them that is you never seen. For hospitals, when they are doing kidney operation in devices to hold the needle where we put into the kidney, it's done by our technology transfer, technology development center in this campus itself. And it's been used, by the hospitals for patients doing kidney stones. We have for SME bihun is some kind of rice noodle. So this is a bihun folding machine. So this automation is done by our staff in this campus. We get the mechatronics staff to work on this project to keep them updated on how to design and develop such projects. And there is a showcase in one of the newspapers. For the food science side, we develop no sugar added gelato, some kind of ice cream. Yeah, and it's so commercially. Over here we have elder rich nursing core integrated system. This ICT project. Over here is a rock sugar sorting machine. I suspect it's for small and medium-sized enterprise. And we won the most scalable collaboration project for this integrated sensor gateway for customized IoT solution. So this is a sample of some of the projects. And this is to keep the staff capabilities updated all the time. And I talk about the authentic learning environment. If you have time to see just to our show you some of the other authentic environment. This is a high-tech authentic learning environment for the aerospace industry. We call it the aerospace hub over at this campus. You can see helicopters, jet engines, real jets, pilot trainer. We even have a boat, plane in the campus. Yeah, this is a smart manufacturing hub which you have visited. I think you have seen the real thing. And this is for the maritime industry, maritime hub, simulated hub for a ship and all the engines, that you can see for the ship you see. Over here is the yes, it's a sustainable solution. We collaborate with Semcorp Center, and you can see some of the students doing work to install solar panels. Even for the softer side, the healthcare, you have simulation, you have a high fidelity mannequins to treat patients, and this is one example. You even have a simulated ambulance, within our college. Over here is the logistics side. So for logistics, we have simulated the logistic environment. The students will even have to drive the forklift and get a license for that. And a lot of IT stuff involved in logistics. And in terms of AI, yeah, you can see the AI intelligence, artificial intelligence lab. This is our college east. So these are some examples of AI. And in the area of railway, MRT lines, the rolling stock and permanent way, we have actually some authentic environment in that train railway kind of train. In the softer side, in the cooking kitchen, you can see this one is more in the pastry side. And of course, automotive side, we have the automotive hub. Now, at times when we cannot have an authentic learning environment, we go for the immersive environment. And we have experimented with many, immersive technologies, EON included. We come out with the packages, for learning. But we do not use technology for technology's sake. As and when it's appropriate, then we apply, the technology. So some of the examples here, it's very hard to, imagine what goes on in this jet engine. And then we have, augmented reality and virtual reality to teach students using the handphone, iPad. They can, activate the engine and see the airflow and things like that. And in areas where this is one of our first, projects with EON, the iCube, where we developed, an oil rig. You cannot have an authentic oil rig here. It's just too huge. So we actually simulated the environment of an oil rig, and then we can train them, particularly on dangerous operation, and the thing can drop on them, and of course, they will learn their mistakes, and they'll try again. That's kind of simulation for them to practice. We can even simulate the kind of weather conditions in the oil rig, like a rainy, stormy weather, and so on. And in area where we do simulation, it's like, for example, emergency crisis where the aircraft, caught fire, and you got to simulate the environment where different students play different roles and interact with each other to fight this fire. So we use that as well. And of course, in the chemical and process plant, we even gamify some of the furnace operation. So what are the current challenges in developing immersive packages? We have gone a long way, and the more immersive you want to go to, the more time you need more manpower. It's very clear. So that is the problem of the long periods and costly, to produce immersive packages. And it's very difficult to scale because it's so costly, so time consuming. It's not easy to scale. And sometimes you can do one thing in one platform, but you got to go to another platform and another platform to integrate everything together. So it's no single platform. And on top of that, you require, the domain expert to be there, the pedagogical expert to be there, the instructional design expert to be there. We work together, come up with a package. All this costs money, costs time. And of course, no cheap solution to customize learning. And for a long time, I've been looking for, we call it, the holy grail of immersive technology. I think we are at the cusp, at the inflection point where we have this technology to bring us to the next level, because all these problems that we have can more or less be solved. So IT's, that is where I am now, IT Education Services, where we bring, feedback solutions and feedback infrastructure and feedback ecosystem, to another country. We are represented in now 30 over countries. Developing new products and services, that's our growth strategy. Embracing generative AI technology, particularly in this financial year. We feel that the AI is going to be so big that we need to embrace AI and harness. For flying spatial AI in Tibet, that's where we have partnership with the EON, and very happy that we'll be signing an MOU with EON today. And of course, we set up, the first spatial AI center in our overseas center in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. And we are trying to, now build up the center. You ask, where is Odisha? When I say Odisha, most Singaporeans don't know where is Odisha. If this is India, East Coastal area in red, that is Odisha. If I expand Odisha, this is Odisha. And there are many, different provinces in Odisha. Bhubaneswar is right here. That's a capital city. And we have a project in Odisha in this building. This is actually a World Trade Center. But the chairman of Odisha, Skills Development Authority, decided to change it to World Skills Center instead of World Trade Center. And overnight, we worked with them to repurpose the infrastructure of this building for a World Skills Center. And today we are operating, this World Skills Center for more than 2 years. And if you imagine, this is just situated in Bhubaneswar. You have to educate, the skills education for the whole of Odisha. How do you do it? We need to have some kind of technology to reach out, even to the furthest part, into the villages. And they even have tribal villages in Odisha. So you don't have to reach out to them. And of course, we have now the spatial AI, and I don't have to, deliberate on this more. You have seen the actual demonstration how we use, the spatial AI to curate a 15-hour fully functional lessons for students because, of the constraints that we have. The students cannot operate on the machines because it's highly regulated. And in Odisha itself, that was the time when we went there to talk about, implementing this, spatial AI. We quickly pull out the lessons and Ali himself actually, scan the particular, this is a vertical transportation, the leaf system. So we train people in, maintaining leaves. So quickly, this leaf or traction leaf systems and equipment, training nodes are loaded. We extract the ready stock 3D models, from the EON platform and create annotation, automatically create assessment questions and develop the lessons in 20 minutes. Amazing. Of course, after that, you want to make it, you want to go to the pedagogical aspect, the different, instructional design and things like that, and make sure that the domain experts qualify it before you, launch it. But it's a workable, kind of lessons. Okay, harnessing AI in teaching and learning. This is an area that I believe we are at an inflection point. AI will be so part and parcel of our life from now on, and it's going to accelerate, even more. And we need to be ready for it. So leveraging on AI in teaching and learning is, I think, a must, because going forward, things changes so fast. It's accelerating, in fact. We need to develop on the fly. Of course, if we shorten the process, we can deliver updated, curriculum so much quicker, on time for the industry. And we need to even incorporate AI in our lesson delivery, developing online spatial rich learning modules. Now we get more opportunity to make it, immersive, rich, and guiding students on the use of AI for learning. I think you have an agent that can answer your question. It's like, having Aristotle, at your back and call on any subjects that you want. And using generative AI to develop higher order of teaching skills. I think these are things that we might not imagine. That even for innovative and creative process, we can harness generative AI to have to with that. And of course, using AI for assessment and developing AI-based courses for pedagogical training, even for pedagogical training. Okay, so this is IT's strategy for embracing AI for tapestry of possibilities. This is our tagline for this financial year. And I can imagine, while AI can impact, a lot of areas, we also should impact our own company. So we are automating, writing process, creating multilingual content. Can you imagine? I develop content in English. I can deliver in Vietnamese, in the Tagalog, or in Thai, or in Hindi, for example, in a fraction of a second. And I can generate stunning videos, visuals, for our work. We can generate innovative ideas and solutions. Train overseas participants to leverage on generative AI and spatial AI. That's itself a program that we can launch and harness spatial AI to create immersive, engaging, and interactive learning content. So in short, we can increase productivity, foster creativity, and empower educators and learners at scale. And I'd like to end with this particular quote. Don't let the AI revolution travel around the world before the media ecosystem has time to put on its legs. Be agile and resilient. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. I wish I could be as concise as you are. I need probably 600 slides more to get to the same point. But thank you for those insights. And I must say, just for me, being a product of Sweden, America, and now Portugal, to see how Singapore is approaching this logically and structured. And, you know, sometimes you and I have to talk because I love that here and there of how you approach these in a way that actually makes sense and produce real results. And I think that's what the world needs more. We need more logical approach. We need more sensible, disciplined methods to solve real problems. And what I see today, what I think you all witness to say, is this at work. And sorry, I know that is but I couldn't resist, and I'm so grateful. Every time you have a presentation, I can't wait until what's going to happen in August. So thank you for that. I think another round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Cruz, and also Dan. We are coming almost to the end of today's event, right? So let's now all move on to the most significant part of today's event, which is the MOU signing ceremony, right? So this ceremony signifies the collaboration between EON Reality and ITE, as well as EON Reality and ITE Education Services. So for this event, right, our partner Paul Sim will be hosting this MOU ceremony part, and with that, I'll hand over to event. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. We've come to the part of the ceremony where it's the MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding, the signing of the MOU between ITE and EON Reality. This confirms the intent of ITE and EON Reality to collaborate in spatial AI at IT College Central, as well as develop opportunities for students and staff. This MOU improves the authentic learning environment for ITE students and trainees to learn about spatial AI through training and participation in spatial AI projects with EON Reality. Mr. Dan Lejeska, Chairman of EON, would like to say a few words before the signing.
Thank you so much. So I really appreciate this. This has been a long journey. I'll try to be very brief as it's popular. But it's a long journey in the past, but I'm so excited about the future together. And I really believe in 1 + 1 is 10, and the elements that we have here today, especially with IT's expertise and established experience and ITES 30+ countries. Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm also honored to have many of my old friends from Asia Pacific here today to witness this, and I can't wait to, together with IT and ITS, help to bring that to fruition in your region. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. Our principal, Mr. Suresh Natarajan of IT College Central, would like to say a few words as well. Suresh.
Thank you, Paul. So Dan Lejeska, Chairman of EON Reality, Bruce Go, CEO of IT Education Services, friends and colleagues from our group. Very good afternoon to everyone. You know, my own personal experience with EON Reality was when I joined IT just over 11 years ago. That's when this college, this location started. So I was quickly introduced to the NQ, which was a jewel in the ground of IT College Central at the time. So it was a fascinating opportunity, I think, for staff and students to get exposed to this new form of pedagogy and learning. And I think over the 10-odd years that that facility existed, we did embark on quite a number of projects. But as was alluded to in the previous presentation, some of the challenges, some of these aspects are a little tedious. So in the 10 years we were only able to develop about 10 to 12 packages. Each of the packages was very well received by students. They, I think, really got much more engaged kind of educational technology which was being deployed for those modules. So I think we're firm believers. And then, of course, we fast forward to today. So I think what the new which EON Reality brings to its platforms, spatial AI, essentially two words spring to mind, right? Democratization and access. So democratization, we all know how the internet has really brought the digital age to everyone. And that's the democratization power of cloud-based computing with AI that I think this new platform from EON brings. But the second part is access. We are very grateful to EON Reality that under the auspices of this MOU that we are about to sign, several thousand students in IT will get access to the system. So just like we were very curious and excited about 10 years plus ago when faced with the new technology, we're also very curious and excited about exploring the possibilities of this new technology. So thank you, EON, and I look forward to this new partnership that we're forging. Thank you.
See, and I'd like to invite Mr. Dan Lejeska up here as well to sign the MOU. Thank you. And at this point, we'd like to invite the two witnesses to come up, please. Mr. Callister Strong, the Senior Director of the School of Design and Media, and Mr. Sridhar Sunkad, the Managing Director of EON. As witnesses. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I just troubled you all for a group photo to commemorate the occasion. Yep, it's right there. Keep smiling. I think we've got at least 10 cameras pointing at you all, gentlemen. So just keep the smiles going. We'll choose the best photo. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you once again. A round of applause. We look forward to this wonderful collaboration between ITE and EON. Thank you. At this point, we've come to the signing ceremony with ITES and EON. Mr. Dan, I need to keep you up here. This collaboration will increase the depth of collaboration between ITES and EON. EON, with their cutting-edge spatial AI and extended reality platforms, is a key partner in ITES' ongoing mega projects with the Odisha government via the World Skills Center. With EON as ITES' preferred technology partner for Tibet digital content development, ITES will now be the commercialization partner for all co-developed digital packages. Harnessing EON's advanced digitalization and teaching platforms will put our training curriculum at the forefront of the Tibet arena and allow local and overseas students, faculties, and partners to be exposed to the state-of-the-art edutech. It's a great pleasure that I also invite Mr. Bruce Poe, the CEO of ITE Education Services, ITES, and Mr. Dan Lejeska to the table for the signing of the MOU. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. Mr. Dan, just to commemorate the occasion, we'd like to invite a group photo for the two of you. Thank you. Keep smiling, the cameras. At this point, I think there is a presentation. There's just a little gift exchange, a token of appreciation from Mr. Bruce Paul to Mr. Dan. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. This is from an artist who create this ceramic leaf out of actual leaf. And put down the leaf and then furnish to the furnace and then comes it. Yeah. And by the way, this particular person used to be one of our deputy CEO of ITE.
Okay, very beautiful. Thank you so much, Bruce. My wife likes furnace, so okay.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for witnessing this event.
Mr. Suresh, perhaps I invite you up here just for a group photo with everyone. Tell us this as well. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, just a general photo with the whole team from ITIS, ITE, and EON. Thank you very much. So you feel like superstars. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 cameras pointing at you. Because we need the backup, yes. Just keep smiling, gentlemen, or the cameras just keep snapping. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you had an informative session visiting IT College Central, and thank you for witnessing the signing of the MOU. I'll pass the microphone back. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Paul. And thank you everyone once again for joining us today. So join us for lunch and some networking session just right outside the cinema, and we hope to see you again in our next event. With that, once again, thank you so much and have a good one. Take care.